Yes, good morning. So in yesterday's class, we have uploaded Anil's profile picture. So let me open the table as well. It's C11. The table name is ZP72_photos. So let me display. Go to contents of this table. Execute. Yeah. So we uploaded Anil's profile picture and it got uploaded, but in the front end, it didn't show 201 created, but it has shown something 500. Okay. So let us upload Babji's photo and we'll see whether it is uploading or not. I have made a small implementation. I will let you know about that, but I did not test it. So where is Babji? Yeah, 100003. So let me maintain this employee ID and upload the profile picture here. This is Babji, upload. And now we can see file uploaded successfully. That means we are getting 201. Otherwise we don't get this success message, right? So if you see the coding I have written is, if the status is 201, then only I am displaying file uploaded successfully. Otherwise, I am displaying file uploaded failed. So by the way, yesterday we did not get this file uploaded successfully. Basically the status code 201 we are not getting, but today we are getting the status code 201. The reason is there is one standard thing we need to do in the MPC extension class. So let me write down here. This is kind of a mandatory step. So you need to go to the MPC extension class. So here there is a method called define method. So this define method you need to redefine. And after redefining, what you need to do is the MPC extension class gives you a predefined object called model. So using this predefined object, you can access any of the entity type. From this metadata, you can access any entity type. So we need to access this photo entity type. And inside the photo entity type, we need to point out to this field called file type, and we need to set this particular field as content type. Okay, so this is a mandatory step. So as per SAP Gateway Framework, the OData framework, this step is mandatory because it has to recognize the file type. So whatever the field which is exactly storing the type of the file, that has to be set as a content type. So let me open SCGW and I will open the MPC extension class. Runtime artifacts MPC, and this is MPC extension class. So if you see here, there is a define method which you need to select and click on redefine. So which I already did. So here there is an object called model which is provided by the MPC class. So using this model, there is a function called get entity type, and you need to get this photo entity type. Okay. So I got the entity type name called photo and stored in a variable. Now again from the entity, I can get a field of the entity. Okay. So these are properties of the entity or fields of the entity. So I will again say my entity type dot get property. Get property means, so inside this entity, get a property. So what is the property? The property name is file type. So get the file type property and save that in a LO_property variable. Now set this particular property as content type. Set as content type. So this is a mandatory step. So in simple words, whatever the field that is storing the type of the file must be marked as content type. So this is what is the statement from Gateway Framework. I repeat once again, whatever the field that is storing, the type of the file must be marked as content type. So in this case, this is the property which is storing the type of the file. So I need to mark this particular field as content type, and this field is present in photo entity. So first we need to access photo entity, and from the photo entity we need to get the property file type, and then we need to set that property as content type. That's all, guys. Okay. So in today's class we are going to talk about the file display and download. Single file upload is over. Now file downloads. For downloading the file, SAP has given another method called get underscore stream. Get underscore stream. To trigger this particular method, get underscore stream, you need to call a OData service URL. The OData service URL that you need to call is your base OData service URL slash your corresponding entity set. The corresponding entity set is photo set. And within the round brackets, you need to pass whose photo you want to download. Here, for the photo entity, what is the primary key? Employee ID. So this employee ID you need to pass within the round brackets, and you also need to append something called /$value. /$value. So this is one interview question and certification question. So in Fiori certification, so this particular question is there. Find out, so he will give 4 options, and he will ask the question, what is the URL that will trigger the get stream function? Okay, and he will give 4 URLs. So one URL till here, another URL till here, another URL completely till $value. So like this, he will give 4 options. So the correct option is the URL which is ending with /$value and also having the primary key. Okay, so this particular URL will go and trigger get stream function. So first of all, why it will trigger the get stream function? Photo sets. So photo entity is the entity which can upload or download the stream. Stream means media related attachments, right? And then you are passing the primary key. That means you are pointing to a particular attachment, a unique record in the table. And then this /$value indicates, see, if you do not write /$value, it will go and call photo set underscore get underscore entity. This will go and call photo set underscore get entity, means singular record. Get entity, you know, employee set of 10001. For example, employee set of 10001. So what is this? It's also called employee set underscore get underscore entity, correct? For getting the single record. But I want the download to happen. So download means the binary string has to get downloaded, not like a record here. So photo set of 10001 will not give you the download of the file to the front end. So you need to add /$value so that the execution goes to get stream function. See, method get stream not implemented in the data provider class. So what is this get stream method? Just like create stream method, for file download, SAP Gateway Framework has given this get stream function. Now, for understanding generally, whenever some download is happening, do you know what exactly happens in any technology? The download means downloading of that whatever the binary or hexadecimal content of the file, and the type of the file and content of the file. So these two will be returned to the front end, so that in the front end, the moment it came to the response came to the front end, it start downloading. Okay, so what are the two things required for file downloading? One is the content of the file and the type of the file. So you might wonder, content of the file is enough, no? Then what is the need of type of the file? So the type of the file is also important, because if you do not send the type of the file, the download will happen, but it becomes unknown type. For example, I send a download of a file without the type of the file, then it will be in the downloads, but it will be of unknown type. So none of your installed softwares like Word, Excel or PPT, none of them can open that, because it is of type unknown type. But if I send the type of the file also, for example the PDF, then the Adobe Reader will open it. If it is an image, the image viewer will open it. If it is Excel, Microsoft Excel will open it. If it is a Word document, Microsoft Word will open it. So the type of the file is very important, because whatever the installed softwares that we have in our system, if they have to open a file, they must know the type of the file. Okay, now let us see the logic. The logic is not that much difficult. It is also very simple, guys. So for downloading any file, we just now understand that the corresponding logic should pull the record. So record of the corresponding primary key. So here in this particular URL, I am saying photo set of 10001/$value. So which means that the user is requesting for 10001 photo, this particular employee's photo. So the step number one is you need to get this record from the table. So pull the record from the table using the primary key. So what is the code that you will write? Select single star from my photos table, that is ZB72 underscore photos, where the primary key is employee ID. So employee ID equal to, so you can save this in a so this particular value you will get from you will automatically get into IT key tab. So you should not forget this IT key tab. What is IT key tab? IT key tab is an internal table that stores the primary keys that are coming as a part of your OData service URL. So from this IT key tab, I will declare a LS key tab, and from the LS key tab, I will get this value. So I get this entire record. So what is select single star from this table? So this select single star is nothing but it returns the corresponding record for you. Okay, so 10001 record it will return. So whatever the record that you got from this select single star, you can save that into a structure. So into structure like ls underscore photo or something. Now this particular ls underscore photo structure will contain how many fields? This ls photo structure contains how many fields? So you are reading a record from this table. So obviously one record of this ZB72 underscore photos contains how many fields? How many fields are there in this table?
File type, file content, and then employee ID.
So this contains employee ID. This contains file name, and this contains
file type
and file content. And file content. However, I do not require these two. I require these two, the bottom two, file type and file content. Now, I need to send this hexadecimal string, which is the file content, and the type of the file. So these two, I need to send it to the front end. How do you send these two in a front end? These two, we will send it to the front end by keeping these two in a OData framework defined structure. There is a structure in which we need to send it to the front end. One second. The battery is low. So you already know from the yesterday's class, there is something called IS media resource. There is a IS media resource, right? IS underscore media underscore resource. So this particular IS media resource is a structure with two fields. One is MIME type and second one is value. Second one is value. So what we need to do is, IS media resource is a standard structure. So we need to declare a variable like ls underscore media underscore resource. So we need to declare a variable of type this IS media resource. Okay, so I will declare a variable called ls underscore media underscore resource, which is of type this one. And you already got your file type, you already got the file content. Now assign this file type to your ls media resource hyphen MIME type and assign ls media resource hyphen value with the file content. So basically whatever the file type, whatever the file content, you are storing inside this ls media resource, okay, which is a structure. And finally, to send this particular ls media resource to the front end, you need to use copy data to ref. So use copy data to ref and pass this ls media resource as a importing parameter to this function. That's all. That's all. This will go to the front end and the file gets downloaded. Clear? So let me explain the logic once again, guys. From the front end, you are triggering this particular URL. So in front end, we always trigger the URL in the same syntax. I will explain once again. Your base URL slash the corresponding entity set, the primary key within the entity set, whose photo you want to download or which document you want to download. Okay, so that primary key. And then slash dollar value. So slash dollar value is must to trigger the getStream function, right? Now this particular employee ID you will get inside the IT key tab. Okay, so you will get this 100001 in the IT key tab. So from the IT key tab you can retrieve this into ls key tab. So this we done so many times. And since you know this primary key, you get the corresponding record from the table by writing select single star from ZB72 underscore photos into ls underscore photo. What is ls underscore photo? It's a structure of your table to store that single record where employee ID is equal to my ls key tab hyphen value. Now I got the corresponding record of that particular employee. Now this structure will have all the 4 fields. I have the employee ID, file name, MIME type, value, so everything I will have. Sorry, the file type, file content also I will have. But to send the content, I need to send the content and the file type to the front end. So to send that, SAP asked the developer to keep the file type and file content in a IS media resource type variable. So we will declare a variable of type. So we'll declare a variable called ls media resource, which is of type this IS media resource, and we'll store the file type in MIME type, and we'll store the file content in the value. So after that, so this ls media resource, whatever the structure that you define, so this has to be sent to the front end. To send this to the front end, we use copy data to ref and pass this ls media resource as a importing parameter. That's all. So I hope you understand the logic. So whatever the pseudo code that I have written, same to same code I'm going to write. Okay, just a second. So since it's from my project, I will just stop the screen sharing. One second. So I just went to the DPC extension class and redefined the getStream function. Yeah, so let me share the screen back. Okay. Right, now let us see the logic. So same logic, whatever I explain, I always write the same. See, read table IT key tab into ls key tab with key name equal to employee ID. So this is what is the first statement. So we'll read the primary key which is present in IT key tab into the ls key tab. So the ls key tab will contain the primary key which is employee ID. Now next statement, select single star. So same to same statement here, select single star and then store the record into ls underscore photo. So now I got the entire record. Now from the entire record, I just want the file type and file content. So I have taken the file type, I have taken the file content and stored them in ls media resource MIME type and value, same to same statement. And after that, use copy data to ref statement and pass this ls media resource as a importing parameter to this function. That's all. Okay, and I have activated it. It is in active state. Okay, the story is not ended, but there is one more little more step is there. So this is few people implement it, few people don't implement it, but I will definitely suggest to implement. If you stop your coding with this, now what happens is file definitely gets downloaded because you are sending the file content. and you are sending the type of the file as well. So file definitely gets downloaded and it will open. But the file will have some name, some random name. For example, I uploaded with babji.jpg, anil.jpg, but during the download, I will not get anil.jpg. I will not get babji.jpg. It will give some random name. It will give some random name, but the file will open, no problem with the file. So some people have seen the projects where the file gets downloaded with some name, okay, some common name like image, some name like image.jpg or some value.jpg, something like that. Okay, but it would be good if you while download, if you give the same name of the file which was uploaded, so that gives more meaning for the end user, right? So this is the extra code that I am going to add now to show the same name of the file during the download as well. So how to do that? So to do this, the Gateway framework has given another approach, and the approach is you need to declare a structure. You need to declare a structure of type that is something called HTTP and VP. Okay, so this particular, for the first time when you hear this structure, so it looks a little weird. So you need to define a variable of type this HTTP and VP. Okay, so that means I need to declare a variable. So if you observe, this particular variable is already there. So I'm talking about this data declaration. Yeah. So we need to define a variable. So I defined the variable called ls_lheader of type HTTP and VP. So this is kind of a header information which we need to fill. So using this information, while downloading, the same file name it will have. Okay. Now this particular header has two fields in its structure. The first field is name is I think name itself, and second one is value. The first one is name. So if it is not name, I will just tell you. But mostly, I think header is of having the structure with two fields. One is name and second one is value. So this particular name, it has its fixed value, that is basically called as content disposition. Content-disposition. So this is a fixed value, so you can give as it is in the name field. But in the value field, you need to give it like this. Okay, so I'm not writing inside the box, I'm writing outside the box. So you need to write attachment semicolon file name equals to double quotation anil.jpg. So like this you need to write, and this entire thing should be present here. Okay, and again this entire structure you need to send it to the front end. This entire LSL header you need to send to the front end by again using copy data to a ref statement. Clear? So let me just explain once again. So basically my point is you can stop your coding till here as well. The file gets downloaded to the front end, but during the download you will not get the same file name that you have uploaded. You uploaded anil.jpg, but during the download you will get some common name. Okay, like some data Okay, some data or some common name you will get. But if you give the same name, whatever the name which you have uploaded, it looks good. For that, you need to write one extra step. So that, what is that one extra step? First, we need to declare a structure. Okay, so I am declaring a variable ls_l header, so which is a header type variable. So type IE HTTP MVP. So this particular structure has two fields. The first one is name, second one is value. Name field must be filled with content disposition, and value field must be having attachment, which is a static string, and then semicolon, file name equals to. So here the only dynamic thing is this particular file name. So this file name anil.jpg, you can get it from your ls photo file name, isn't it? You already stored all the values in ls photo, right? So your ls photo is having employee ID, your ls photo is having file name as well, right? So you can pass this particular file name dynamically from ls photo -file name. So here the main thing is the double quotation starting and double quotation ending. So this should come. So here we use concatenation operator, not operator, concatenate statement in ABAP. Okay. So in JavaScript you need to use concatenation operator, but in ABAP it's like a English concatenate. Okay. So like that we need to write. So that's all. And after that you need to send this LSL header, which is a structure, to the front end by again using copy data to ref statement. That's all, guys. Only this structure extra. Okay, so just a second. This is also my office code actually. Yep, so let me share the screen back. Yeah. So let me explain the code, guys. So this is a paint, and you can see the structure that we define is ls_l header, which is this one, which is of type IE HTTP and VP. Now this structure has name and value fields, ls_l header name and ls_l header value. So as I already told you, name must be filled with content disposition. So same thing, content disposition. Now coming to the value. So value should have, first of all, attachment, semicolon, and then file name equals to. So you can see ls_l header value, I'm having attachment, semicolon, file name equals to, double quotation, start. After the double quotation, what should be there? File name should be there. So now I need to concatenate, after the double quotation, I need to concatenate my file name. So that's why I'm writing concatenate whatever the value that you already have in this. So this particular ls_l header value, that means still here, concatenate that with file name and place the result again back to ls_l header value. Okay, so that means, so once you concatenate this anil.jpg, so you will get anil.jpg, and after that I need ending double quotation. So I want this ending double quotation also. Starting double quotation, I already kept it here. So this is starting double quotation. I want ending double quotation also. So for that, I am writing one more concatenate statement. ls_l header value, whatever I have till now, append that with a double quotation, ending double quotation. and again place the value in LS_header value itself. So ultimately my LS_header value will contain attachment semicolon file name equals to double quotation start file name double quotation ends. Okay, all right, and then we need to set this as a header parameter. So we use set header parameter, and we need to pass this is the importing parameter, and we need to pass this LS_header as a importing parameter for this. So that's all activated. So this completes the front backend. Now since our getString function is implemented, and if I give the correct employee ID whose photos has been uploaded already, so let me just check whose photos has been uploaded.